Do you think it's something that is carried from childhood, or does it or something from the childhood has happened, or can it just come at any time, or is there a trigger that takes place and then a person is kind of capped into that moment of being depressed, or is it something that maybe did happen when you were a child and just never dealt with it, or no one ever said anything about it? And if it is through, your family, because maybe, your family has had it, is it a chemical imbalance, you think, or is that a myth?
You just said everything. You just described everything with depression. It could be childhood trauma. It could be PTSD. Most people equate PTSD with the military. You went through PTSD. I suffer from PTSD because of the loss of my brother. You probably have PTSD. I'm not diagnosing you because of the loss of your son. So everything that you just stated fits in that box of depression. It can be childhood trauma that you never dealt with and you're taking it into your adulthood and you're not dealing with it. It can be a tragic moment in your life that can trigger it. Again, a loss of a family member, a loss of anything, your job can cause you to have depression, because you got to think about mental illness is your health can cause you to have a mental breakdown. Everything
Mhm.
is geared to your brain. So you think about it, okay, I was diagnosed with cancer. Why me? So you're going to slip into a depression. You could slip
Mhm.
into a depression. Childhood trauma you never dealt with. You don't talk about it, but it's still there. Again, the loss of a job, the loss of a loved one. So each one of those categories can fit into that box of depression.
Okay.
So you could be someone that never had a problem, and
Mhm.
one little thing can change you in a second.
Mhm. Next question. Do you ever hear songs that remind you of Rocky? And if yes, which ones kind of remind you of him when you hear them?
Any old school song,
Mhm.
Marvin Gaye, and
Okay.
again, um, Isaac Hayes.
Oh wow.
Where's the other one? I think it's Bill Withers or something like it. But pretty much um any old school songs. He loved old music. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's what my dad, my mom, again with the cleaning up at night, it was always old songs.
Mm-hmm.
So their music back in the day. So yes,
Was he tall?
yes, he was like he was maybe 6 feet.
Okay.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Um, so is there anything else that you want to tell us about suicide? Like I do have another question. If someone is continuously crying, like how much is too much crying to someone who doesn't really know someone's crying, but just like, for me or other people who are listening, like when is it so much that that person should say, I think I need to talk to someone?
Again, I'm gonna go back to the 2 weeks. Any time past 2 weeks, um, but there's really no time frame. I
Yeah.
really think we're all dealing with something that we're not acknowledging. And
Mhm.
I'm gonna go back to this. I don't care how you feel. I would suggest any and everyone just find a therapist and go at least once a month, because you could be harboring something that you don't even know. It could be something affecting you that you don't know. I'm a diabetic, so when I'm stressing, and I deal with seizures, so when I'm stressing or nervous about something, it
Mhm.
triggers it. So it goes back to your mental, everything affects your mental. Your mental controls your entire body. Your brain controls your body.
Mm-hmm.
So I recommend any and everybody, again, to just, even if it's once a month, and if you feel that you're dealing with something longer than you think you should, that's a sign. Try to seek help. And again, I tell parents, talk to your children. It's a hard topic, but you might be surprised what they say.
Mm-hmm.
You might be surprised. Take that time with your family, have that conversation, have that tough conversation, whether you want to or not. Because if not, and I'm gonna go back to this, if not, you're gonna have that empty chair at Christmas, you're gonna have that empty chair at Thanksgiving, and you don't have no more birthdays to celebrate. So there's no excuse at this point because we have the internet. We can look up any and everything, but the most important things we don't look up. And I think sometimes it's because we're afraid of what the answer might be.
Mm-hmm.
But there, at this point, day and age, there's no excuse. You can Google everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's time to start taking the blinders off. Stop leaving everything to other people. It's time for you to take ownership of yourself. And certain things that I'm saying, when I'm saying that, I'm saying this to myself as well. Because
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I have my moments, and I'm sure you have your moments, but it's time to take that moment. Just like you said, they both want us to live.
Yeah.
They want us to live. So we have that hurt, we hold them in our heart, we take them wherever we go.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky is tattooed on my arm. All both of my sons and my gods have him tattooed on their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
It's carried everywhere. um my son, youngest son's KJ, he wasn't born on my brother's birthday. He was born 2 days before my brother's birthday, but he holds this to his heart that he brought his son home on his uncle's birthday. So
Oh.
so we carry him. He's with us just like your son is with you. But I urge everyone, have that hard conversation. If you don't know how, I can tell you how. I can show you how. But it's definitely, I really strongly urge that people talk to their kids, have that conversation with their
Mhm.
kids.
A question about therapists. Did you find that you had to switch therapists in order to find the right one that you felt comfortable with?
Yeah, and I was going to say that. Yes, I did. And
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to stick in. I'm going to say you do not have to stick with the first therapist that you have.
Right.
One therapist I had, the last time I went to her, I think she owed me money. So it goes back to most therapists have a therapist, but you don't have to stick with the first one that you come up. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's called Psychology Today. You can go to that website and you can put in your health insurance. You can put in your area where you live at. It will give you a list of therapists that's in your area. You don't have to stick to the first one you come across at
Mm-hmm.
all. I recommend, I think, well, no, no, I had a male. And sometimes, and it's weird, sometimes I think males should have a female therapist and a female should have a male therapist, or both. But you do not have to stick with the first. It's a relationship that you're creating with that person. So
Right.
you have to feel comfortable. It's just like creating a marriage, a friendship. That's what you're creating. You need to feel comfortable coming to that person. So, no, if you're not comfortable, don't feel bad. Do not feel obligated. Just
Mm-hmm.
go on until you find that one that you're comfortable with.
Thank you. Do you
You're
have words to speak to people who may be listening right now who are silently going through depression?
One, you're not alone. There's help out there. Speak up. I'm available to give out resources, but I guarantee you and I promise you are not alone. And sometimes this is one of my openings when I give a speech. I'm going to show you what depression looks like. And I always point to myself. Everybody always think I have been well put together. I'll go down hair, nails, clothes, flawless, but inside I'm still hurting. So depression doesn't have a look at all. If you're hurting, you are not alone. Just seek that help. And there's nothing wrong. You don't have to tell nobody that you're seeking help.
Mm-hmm.
That's between you, your therapist, and God. You don't have to worry about anybody. If you choose to share it, that's up to you. If you feel comfortable with having someone, hey, I need a support buddy. I need to go to therapy. Would you go with me? But be careful who that support buddy is. But you don't have to tell anyone. Here again, we have the internet. Just do the search. And
Mm-hmm.
you do not have to stick to that first person. But I urge everyone to seek some type of help.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on. You really made me think about other things because my mind was on suicide prevention and awareness, but I didn't realize that it was going to make me also think about the fact that, I too am still
Grieving.
sad, really sad. Yeah, grieving. And I didn't want to use that word even when it happened with my son. People kept saying, you're grieving. And I kept saying, no, I'm not. Like, no, I'm not. And I definitely, was in denial about it. I think it's never going to leave. It's never going to leave. I think.
Just so give yourself grace and mercy and never let anyone, and that's the other thing I always tell people, no one has the right to tell anybody how long to grieve or how to feel. You don't know how I feel. I can't tell you how you should feel by losing your son. I never lost any of my kids. So I can't even tell you. I can only imagine how that feels. I can only imagine how my parents feel with losing my brother. So no one has a right to tell anyone how they should feel, how long they should grieve. That's on you. That you have the right to grieve. You are a mother. That is your child. You have the right to grieve as long, and you're going to grieve for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It could be, like you said, you were asking about songs and food. It can be the littlest thing. You're going to your grandson's birthday party. It can be something there that's going to trigger you. So it's like I tell people, stop telling other people how to feel or how long someone should grieve. That's not anyone's place. I'm just here to tell you, you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
There's support, and that's for any and everyone. There is support. Don't be afraid to reach out for help because it's going to help you. It'll help you deal with things a little better. You fall down, get back up, and give
Rocky.
give us give yourself that mercy and grace. Give yourself that space. Stop. And it's like I said, everything that I'm saying, I'm talking to myself because right now I'm dealing with something and I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm always the fixer, but I can't fix this.
Yeah.
And it hurts. It hurts almost more than losing my brother. So it's like, I have to figure this out, and it's not for anybody else to figure out. I have to figure out where my mistakes were,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to be honest with myself, and I have to give myself that grace and mercy. And you need to do that the same. And don't let anybody tell you it's time to stop grieving. Nope, not at all.
Yeah,
Not
I
at all.
definitely believe that. Danya, thank you so much for coming on and sharing everything. I really, really appreciate it. Homage to you, Rocky. Homage to you. We love you. We're going
Thank
to
you.
continue to uplift your name. And we will talk soon. And I'll get this broadcast out as soon as I can. Okay.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
Mwah.
Yeah, take care. I love you.
Love you too. Bye
Bye.
bye.